Good car. Gonna order a new air filter for it. I think we did an oil change before you stored it, right? Oil's clean. All right. So we did the oil change right before we stored it. I do have a purple tile blow-off valve. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get the intake and the pipes powder coated. Pretty peaceful out here where I live. Nice and quiet. No neighbors. Just got these windmills. See, she's got a big old smile on her face. I bet she does. Oh. You happy? All right, bring it in. That's fine. Just put it behind the red one. Welcome back to the channel. So we're out here again today with white rice. I do have to leave here in a little while because we got a going away party for the wife's cousin. They're moving to Florida. So we're gonna go hang out with them for a couple hours before they go. And then we'll come back here and I'll put more time into the car. We did run a few errands yesterday. We got some parts. I ended up getting a manual window regulator for the driver's door. I'm trying to find some Lexan online that's not gonna cost me $400 for a whole sheet to get shipped to the house. So I'm doing some digging on that. I'm trying to find some smoke stuff. If I can't, then what I'll do is I'll just order two 2-foot by 3-foot sheets and I'll cut the front doors, or I'll cut the front windows and we'll call it good. But I'm trying to see if I can get some smoke stuff and I can get a whole sheet of it, then I'll do all 4 doors at the same time, so it all looks pretty cool. But if I can't do it, then it is what it is. I did get wheel bearings for Rice car here. I also ordered a throwout bearing. It was going to be a new one for it, but I opened the box and it looks like it's been like kind of worn in. There's a groove and the surface has got some wearing on it, and I'm not too happy with it. Not too happy with that, so I'm gonna send them an email or make a phone call or whatever I got to do to get this part warrantied out and exchanged so they can have it back and give me a new one. I got the wheel bearing so I can get the spindles put together when I get that back from Rick. We got the valve seals. I might pull the valves on this one and try to open the pockets a little bit with the head. I'm not sure yet. We'll play that one by ear. What I'm going to do right now with the time that I got before we got to leave is I'm going to try and get the parking brake pulled out. I do have all my tools kind of set up right here. I think this is probably everything that I'm hoping this is everything that I'll need. Plus my impact to get the parking brake stuff out of this car. But so we're gonna dive in and see how much of this I can get pulled out before I gotta leave. Well, we didn't get too much done. I got the parking brake handle out, put on the jack stands, and then Andy showed up and he wanted to talk about the car some. So I'm gonna take the battery out of his car right now, take it inside, throw it on the charger. We're gonna let it sit while we leave, and then when we get back, I'm gonna call him. He's gonna come get the car. We are gonna go to that going away party. I am gonna wrap this one up for now. We will be back out here later on tonight. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get these brakes off, see what kind of weight we can get out of the car. And then I am definitely going to do some searching while the wife drives so we can get this plexiglass ordered and get my front windows done. So, all right guys, we'll be back. All right guys, so we went over there, we hung out for a little while. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna get the brakes tore down, get the rotor off, get the parking brake hold down stuff all disassembled, unhook the spring, pull all the hardware, try and feed the cable back through the knuckle, see if I can pull the cable out of the car. And then we'll get everything set up and see if we're losing weight or if we're just kind of exchanging for what is already there. So let's get that off and see what we got. couple pounds anyway. Put that on after I torque the nut. So I'm gonna go take the other side off now and take that backing plate off. I didn't think about it while I was over on that side, but I got to this side and I was like, oh, I could just take that off. Ain't gonna do nothing for me really. Okay, so let's see how much the parking brake setup's gonna weigh real quick. In the box. Oh, let's see, shift it around. The lever's on the ground, let me stand it up. There we go. Alright, whole setup. 4.8 to 4.9, looks like it was bobbling. So we'll call it 4.8. I'm gonna grab the parking brake cables, I'm gonna zip tie them up in a loop. I'm gonna try and see if I could do everything in the same box and see how much it weighs. Okay, so after it's been settling, it did settle at 4.9. I wanted to let it ride and see where it was gonna stay. So now I'm gonna take everything out of this box, put the other parking brake stuff in it, and we'll see where it's at. Same box. 12.8. So there's another 8 pounds. Getting rid of the parking brake, going to this staging brake setup. This is nuts. Wow, just nickel and diamond this thing right to death. So we're 10 pounds there. Almost 10 pounds. I got the power windows to do yet. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay the staging brake lines in and see how long I can get away with and get the brake set up where I want it. And then I'm gonna see if these AND lines will reach to go outside of the car on one of these sides. And if they will, hopefully that side, I'll just run the line in and then I'll run it through the car. And then what I'll do under, you might not, well, you can see I got this light. There's the 2 brake lines right there where they come off. I'll cut them off and I'll reflare them. So I would just cut the line, take it out, cut the line off up there at the front, pull the fitting off, put the fitting on the end of the line that I'm using, and then reflare it, and then I can mate it to the staging brake and just keep the brake lines all going through. That would be nice. Damn, 8 pounds in the staging brake that we're losing going from the parking brake to the staging brake. And also we don't have the hardware inside of the rotor properly adjusted, causing any kind of friction. So now all that's gone. That's also including the backing plate, because that is in there. Sorry guys, I got some a day to remember going on. So I thought I turned it down, but the next one come on, it got a little bit louder. So, but yeah, 4.8 to 12.8, 8 pounds on the nose, just in the brake. So now what I'm gonna do, we're gonna get everything set up, see how it lies, and if I like it, I'm gonna pull the window regulator and I'll get the glass out of the doors. I did order plexiglass. I found somewhere that had 2 foot by 3 foot sheets. So I ordered 4 sheets. I'm gonna do all 4 windows. So I guess I'll have these originals left over. Those could be a template, I guess, for the new ones that I cut from now on. I might make a template as well to see. I might try and make a template also from a stock window with the mount and everything, to see if I can get one to work on the manual rear window. And if it does, I might do this one too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And with this one, because I'm going to use the crank, I will be able to keep the seal. So I'll have to get a new one, obviously, so it won't look like this car. But I'll get a new seal, and I'll be able to use all the seals and everything, and roll the windows up and down. They'll be power or manual. I might even do that on the front. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how hungry I get with this car. This one might actually stay full glass, except for the rear. I'm not sure yet. But like I said, we're gonna set this brake in, see where we're at there, and then once I'm done with that, I'll look at getting this door apart, and we'll see how much weight we might be losing going to Lexan on the front and going to the manual driver's window from the power. So let's go, guys. Alright guys, so the camera did die on me while I was trying to set this up, I think. But I just kept going because it was kind of a pain in the butt trying to climb in and out of the car with the seat and it falling down and trying to climb back in and get it in place where I think it was going to be when I drive the car, so I could set the brake in and get an idea of where I wanted it to actually be. So I finally got it set in after, like I said, climbing in and out of the car a few times. I got everything set up and I think the brake's going to work pretty good on this side. So I can just kind of pull it back, let it go. And then we got our inline coming through. And the idea that Luke had when he was going to set this all up was he was going to take the lines in, which he has this fitting setup that he put together. He had an AND line to the brake fittings, or the brake thread size that we need to go into the factory proportioning valves. And he was going to take and loop this in. So he had the male ends to go, and then he was going to have this side go into the car, hook up to the brake, and then come back out. And he was going to come back out to the same spot, and then he had female fittings to hook into the brake lines themselves, and then just use the staging brake to hook onto right here and use the factory line all the way back. So what I think I'm going to do differently is I'm going to buy a short line. I'm going to order a Willwood line. They got a 14-inch line. It's got a 90 on one end and a straight at the other. So I'm going to do a 90 bulkhead right here against the firewall, and the 90 is going to be on the inside facing off to the side. And I'll show you why when I go in the car. And then the other end is going to stick straight through here. And then I'm going to take a 90 and I'm going to run that up so I don't have to worry about it interfering with the intercooler pipe at all when I'm trying to work on the car or do something. And we're going to take that 90 and we're going to jog it up, and we're going to go behind where these brake lines are. And then I'm going to run the line straight over here and then 90 into this one. And then I also did set the intake in, and the intake comes like right by it. So that's perfect. So we're going to have clearance. So we'll get this hooked up whenever I get those lines. I am going to order those from Summit tonight. I've been going through and ordering miscellaneous things that I'm going to need. So like, I'm also ordering grommets. So I'm buying a grommet pack from Amazon. That's going to have a 1-inch grommet, and I'm going to run the wideband in through there because the race dump that I have, the O2 sensor bungs are on this side for some reason. But that's going to work out kind of nice because I have the room to run the wideband wire through that hole with an electrical grommet, and then we're going to run that into the gauge. I'm going to buy a 3-foot wire. I got this super long cable that I don't need, so we're going to buy the short one, and we're going to run it through that hole, and then we're going to run that wire up. But on the other end, we're going to have that 90 face off because my foot's going to be here, and I don't want to have this hose come over and my foot catch it or anything stupid trying to drive the car. So we're going to have that 90, and then it's going to come off probably like this, and then I'll take a P-clamp and I'll fix it here, and I'll fix it here. And it'll kind of run like this into the brake, and then we'll pull it, fluid goes out. And I don't know if I'm going to go under with this or over, what I'm going to do, but I'm also going to do a bulkhead on this side. And what I'm going to do is P-clamp it here, P-clamp it here, probably do another one here, and then I'm going to have the line kind of jog over like this, and it's going to go into a straight bulkhead fitting on the other side of the car. And then I'll have a plate that bulkhead fitting goes to, and then I'll have that to bolt underneath. And then on the other side, let's go into the car and we'll talk about that. Old drag racer told me once that, I've said this in another video, but ounces, or grams lead to ounces, and ounces lead to pounds. So if I can get rid of the brake line from here all the way forward and across the firewall, that's gonna add up. That's gonna be nice. But anyway, we're gonna have that plate, that bulkhead fitting, and this line will bolt to that bulkhead fitting, so I end up sitting like this. And then he had this set up. So what the setup was going to be is this T was going to come back out of the brake and feed this line, so I could have flared this line and run it in, and then just looped this over like this and hooked it up. But I didn't want to do it like that. I didn't want to have it big old thing hanging off. So what I'm going to do is on the other end of the bulkhead fitting is I'm going to have a female end, or a female adapter, and then I'm going to take a T that'll have a female fitting on this side, and what that's going to let me do is hook this up like this, so I can hook it to the bulkhead, and then have the female end on this side hook straight to this line, flare it, put it in there, and then on this side I could still run this line, but it'll be cleaner to the car. It won't loop out. It'll stick flatter. But I mean, by the time I get that piece on, it'll probably sit out like this by the time I do the female adapter, because I'm gonna have to go female to female because it's going to be a male end on the bulkhead. So I could buy a female to female union and then set it up with this on an angle or wherever I need it to be to hook that line up. It'll sit pretty good. I'll cut the lines off, reflare them, bleed this shit out, and run with it. We got the staging brake kind of in there, figured out. Got a shopping cart full of the stuff that we need to get it where we want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the power regulator out of this door and weigh the difference between the manual regulator and the power regulator. And then I'm going to get that mounted in here and then kind of see where I can get away with cutting metal out of this door. And then I'm not sure what I want to do with this one. I don't know if I want to cut it completely out and then just permanently mount the Lexan like this, or if I want to buy the manual regulator and then make that a manual door as well, and then still have the front doors roll up and down for a cross breeze when we're in the staging lanes or something, and then just have somebody there to close the window for me. And then like I said, we still use the Lexan inside the track because it is pretty stiff. I ain't worried about it. Just roll it up, kind of have your hand on it, make sure it guides in, and see what I can get away with cutting out of that door and see what kind of weight we can remove from this deal. So let's see what we can do. Try and be cool. So I don't want that guy to fall. I got the weather strip holding it. I'm gonna guess 1.5 pounds, just for the hell of it. Let's see what it does. Okay. So power regulator. 3 pounds. Okay, so 3 pounds. Manual window regulator. I'm gonna guess 2.2. That was close. 2.4. No, it's not a bunch, but it adds up. 0.6 right there. 0.6 plus the Lexan when it gets here. That's gonna be nuts. Well, for the hell of it, I got this glass out. Let's see what that weighs. Why not? I'm alright with it. Damn. Front glass, 6.9 pounds. The stuff I bought, I think they said the weight of it was 0.73 pounds per square foot. So let's say we do, so if that's the case, so we'll do 2 foot by 3 foot times 0.7. We'll do 0.75. We'll shoot high on it. Be 4.5 pounds for 1 square 2 foot by 3 foot sheet. Now, obviously, the glass doesn't consume that whole bit. I think from here to here was like 22 inches. And from here to there was 3 feet. So let's say, because we're gonna lose all of this. We're gonna lose this. We're probably gonna lose 1 inch all the way here along with this. And we're gonna lose this. So let's say that we're gonna use, let's say 75%. That's probably shooting high. So we'll also multiply 4.5 by 0.75. 3.3 pounds per side. So if we do that, at that weight of 3.3 pounds, so 6.9, 3.6 pounds shaved on each side, just in glass, and then we saved 0.6 on the regulator for this one. So if I did put a manual door in that, or manual crank in that one, it would also be another 0.6, obviously. 3.6 and 0.6, 4.2. Multiply that by 2, so we're 8.4 pounds going to Lexan in each door. Going to, if I went to a manual regulator in each door without cutting at the door. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the manual regulator in, put the glass back in, get it all hooked up, I'm gonna roll it up, and then I'm gonna see where, I'm gonna kind of look at the door and see where I think I can get away with cutting metal. I'm not sure. Let's get it over here and let's see what we got, and then we'll see what we can get away with.
There. Now I'll be able to still climb in and out of it inside the closed trailer. Perfect. Well, let's see what all this weighs. Alright, so we got it all trimmed out. Door still, or the window still works pretty good. Door don't flex too bad. There's actually a lot of support here with this regulator. So I was actually able to kind of cut that off on a little bit of an angle because it mounts here, here, and here, and then the crank itself bolts to those parts. I gotta tighten that up yet, but they're in there. Yeah, so that's all there. That's all the metal we cut out. So let's go find out what all of it weighs. Yeah, I guess a pound, 1.1. A little less than I thought, but it all adds up. We're 1.1 on sheet metal, 0.6 on a regulator, and then like I said, by that rough math of 75% of that sheet, which is probably aiming a little high, we are at, I think I said 3.3 pounds. So that would be 3.6, 0.6, 4.2, and then 1.1, so 5.3 pounds off the driver's door by the time I get the Lexan in. Hopefully, not as much as I thought I was gonna get out of the car, but if I go and I buy that other regulator and we do the exact same thing on the other side of the car, that's gonna be another, what do we say, 5.3, so that'd be 10.6 pounds that we pull out of the car. So that's pretty good. That's in the front doors. So let's say the same thing. We're 10.6 down on the doors today. We are down 8 pounds on the staging brake setup, less whatever we're gonna lose in brake lines. So that is now just shy of 20 pounds out of the car again. going to the staging brake and then the cut up option that I'm doing with the doors. We made some good headway, and we are at 18.6 pounds with what we've taken care of today, as long as I take care of the other side. Well, that put us at about 2075 as the car sits. This is nuts. We're getting light. We're finding weight in good spots. So we got everything figured out for the staging brake. Got the manual window regulator in. Got the door cut away. So I probably won't get a chance to get back out here tomorrow. And if I do, then hopefully I would be able to get I'm gonna set those yellow calipers on, get those guys ground down, verify that I have the right seal kit, and then I'll get the yellow cap, verify that I got the yellow. If I do get a chance to work on this thing tomorrow, or if I don't work on it tomorrow and I get to it on Monday, then what I'll end up doing is I will make sure that the seal kit that I have is the right kit. I'll get that, get the yellow calipers set on here, get those guys ground down enough to fit the 13-inch wheel, pull them back off, put the red ones on for now, pull the yellow calipers apart, get them ready for powder coat, and then as soon as I hear back on the spindles for Rice car, I'll take the calipers up there, I'll look at his color swatches, see if he's got something that could match my copper here, and I'm thinking about it, I might have him redo the intake, because it is kind of silvery, if you look at part of it, towards the end there. So I mean, as it sits like this in the car, it gets silvery back here, so if he could redo it and make it all pretty dope, maybe I'll take this with me and see if he could match something and redo it. Actually, I should get this guy figured out too. So I have a smaller battery, but it's thicker, and I have this piece in here. I had this piece in here, and I had a piece of wood in to hold it all, make it sit right. But I do have the battery in the car. I should get that guy to fit, and I'll make that a priority here in a couple days too. I'll probably end up doing that before I grind away on the brakes. That way I can also have this guy ready to go, and he can sandblast and powder coat that when that's ready. I'm gonna order those fittings from Summit. They say they're not gonna ship anything until Tuesday, which is expected. So Memorial Day weekend, I wouldn't expect anything to happen until Tuesday anyway. Hopefully I'll have those guys by next weekend. And then hopefully on Monday I can also get the motor over here for this car. We can start getting the parts swapped over, and I can work on this one slowly throughout the week, get the engine ready to go, get the manifold on it, get the head on, timing set, maybe set it in the car, because I do have a stock gear set here that is ready to go. I could just take the fork and throwout bearing that I had that was going to go with that one. Once I do put the motor in the trans in that car, that I can get after the intake manifold, open up the ports a little bit, and then port it at the throttle body side. So we're going to get all that stuff done, get the intercooler pipe set in, make sure that we're good to go there. I will work on the brakes. As soon as I get the spindle back, I can get the brakes, get everything ready to go with the brakes, get them bled. I might end up just buying another set of cheap calipers for this one too. If I can get some cheap SRT calipers, then I might end up just pulling those guys apart too and having them powder coated all at the same time. Which when I get those done, I'll probably end up getting the rear control arms done too. Just get them done in a red color. So, because these rear ones don't look too bad, I don't think. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, they look real well. They got a couple nicks, but they look really good. So if I can get like a matte red on the control arms and the front calipers, I think it'll look pretty cool. I'm trying to stick to the stock brakes on this blue car as much as I can. I do want to road course the car, but I also want to drag race it. So as soon as I get the call that the knuckles are done, then I'm going to drop off the calipers to get done on the rear control arms for this car and the battery tray for this car, and then see about having him redo the intake and maybe these radiator mounts. I want to make sure that everything else is going to be okay first, but I'm just getting little things that wouldn't kill me to not have, because I could just throw a regular stock black bracket in to drive the car, get it to the dyno, or anything else that I have to do. So now that I know that I'm at a point where everything else is going to be ready to go, I can really start worrying about getting the little things done now. So like getting certain parts in color, like getting all these parts ordered, changing a couple things that have already been done, like the Lexan rear windows that I already have. I'm just gonna template those, and I'm gonna cut these smoke ones out, and hopefully they come out pretty good. I'm really looking forward to them, but hopefully that stuff don't take too long to get here either. I mean, if it does, it is what it is. The glass is still in the front of this car. I have the Lexan. I could bolt in the back of it, and I could do just about anything I'd have to do with it. If the colored stuff don't show up for a while and I drag race it with glass in it still, then I drag race with glass in it still. It's still gonna be light. We're making strides. We're getting there. Just gotta order all this little miscellaneous stuff that I gotta get to button things up. I got these fittings. They should be here early this coming week to finish up the push lock fittings. I'm gonna order the grommets so I can do the wideband through the AC drain hole, and then have the rest of this, or plug the rest of these holes. Do the same thing in the back. I'm gonna have a bulkhead fitting for that staging brake that goes through, so that'll kind of clean things up there and look pretty nice. So anyway, guys, we're gonna get this one wrapped up for the night. Definitely appreciate you guys checking us out. Definitely check out our Facebook, check out our Instagram, subscribe to the channel here, give us a like, comment with any questions you guys might have. Stay safe, stay clean, have a good one, guys, and we will see you at the track. Thanks.